Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure diorama review. Today, we're going to look at the High School Creations Wall XD 112 scale diorama. This is basically the side of a building. This is from High School Creations, which I follow on Instagram, and I've really been watching him for a long time. He 3D prints these dioramas and different buildings and pieces of buildings, and it's really, really cool. I didn't jump on this when it's a Kickstarter, and I always regretted it, but he hit it big. His stuff's at different websites like Big Bad Toy Store. I noticed it even sold out. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to me for getting a second chance to get this. Like I said, I ordered it from Big Bad Toy Store, so let's take a look at the packaging. It's really just a simple, flat, black box. Wall XD. On the back, it says, made in the USA, High School Creations with a QR code. And at the bottom, it looks like this is Big Bad Toy Store's barcode. So, dioramas are one of my specialties. Regretted snoozing on this. Happy to have it. So let's open it up and check it out. And like I said, dioramas are my specialty, world building, and it's sold out at Big Bad Toy Store. I'm sure I'm not the only one that bought multiples, but I'm happy to have 4 of these. I thought I could make 4 sides of a building, or have a really long city street block. Alright, now that we got this diorama out of the package, here it is laid out in front of you. It comes in 2 separate pieces, although it can break down further than that. We also have the instruction packet, and honestly it's pretty simple to put this together, and I thought the instructions were only for idiots, but honestly there's quite a bit more to this diorama than I realized. So, as you can see, quick look at the action features. First of all, you could attach the wall to the floor. Obviously, you can attach 2 wall pieces on top of each other, make it taller. There's little pegs that come out, although there are no interchangeable parts to put inside, but maybe that's future releases. There's side parts, they're actually already attached. And of course, you can put them side by side as well. So, pretty cool. A lot of features, a lot of customizable options, and a lot of different display options for this diorama. So let's go ahead and put it together. And bam, there it is, the side of a building with sidewalk. It's labeled at 112 scale, but could easily fit to 7-inch or 8-inch scale action figures. This thing is considerably tall, which is what I want in a diorama. I want to be able to have it be way bigger than my figures, take action figure photography without having to do any weird manipulation, and that is what I got. Very, very nice job. And then here are all 4 of those things fully assembled, all lined up. It's like we have a whole sort of city street. They are a little similar. They all have the border up windows, but I like it. I like it a lot. In some ways, I kind of wish I got 4 more of them so I could put them on top and take up more camera space, have a really wide, really tall diorama, but God, these things were not cheap as is. This looks really cool and will be very useful in my action figure world. So let's go and take a closer look at this thing. And it feels very good. It feels sturdy. It feels kind of like the NECA street scene diorama. It feels like I can be rough with this thing and I don't have to worry about breaking it. And that is a good feeling. So, starting off with the sidewalk. It's smooth. It looks good. Closer look at the bricks. It's painted very well. Pretty consistent. Little pegs that come out. Kind of noticeable once you notice them, but not a big deal. Boarded up window has an excellent sculpt, and it's not just one color brown, a little bit of shading going on. At the top, you have a little bit of concrete, and the back looks like this. Pretty blank, so it's not going to work at all from the back side, but that gives you the option to put it up against the back wall, and you're not covering anything up that's useful. And now to check out the measurements. So, how wide is it? About 13 inches wide. How deep is it? About 5.5 inches deep. And how tall is it? About 12.5 inches tall. I really like the size of this thing. A lot of time when I get dioramas, I'm frustrated with how small they are. Not with this one. And now to check out the action features. Here's the diorama fully broken down. Well, not fully broken down because there's a bunch of bricks you can remove. So you can see it has a sort of little peg on the side. And if you wanted to, you could attach it to another one. But that kind of loses that, I don't know, 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch. You can just put them next to each other. But if you want them sturdy, you can actually take this one, remove the side parts, and then it will actually attach here, and you'll have a very sturdy street scene diorama, as well as attaching the side of this actually to here. So the way I initially showed them all sitting next to each other, had all these extra pieces there, and it works just fine that way. But you can make it truly secure and connect them to each other. Now, you won't be able to connect them this way, I don't believe. No, that simply will not work, and that's fine. You can put them against each other. So, there's a lot of different options here. If you want that extra bit of space, which if you have 4 of them, 3/4 of an inch will add up to a little bit extra display space. Or you can make them really, really sturdy and not permanently attach them, but securely attach them. So here are 2 of these sitting next to each other normally, not locked in. You can see sort of a noticeable line here. Doesn't really bother me very much. I'd be happy to display them this way. And here they are, interlocked together. I took this piece off and interlocked them. You could still see a significant black line there, so it didn't really improve that. I left this side piece on because you don't have to take that off unless you add a 3rd or a 4th one. Now you lose a tiny bit of space, but not a big deal, although I plan to display mine as separate pieces just next to each other. But the cool thing is, you can lift one side up and the whole thing picked up, very stable, very secure. Like I said, interlocking pieces. But you don't have to do that. It can look good either way, but this makes it secure, so you don't have to worry about it getting, I don't know, a little messed up if you have it like on the floor. It's just nice to have both options. I can see a lot of people probably preferring to have it interlocked together, to have just a very secure, permanent display. And then here they are fully connected from top to bottom. 2 wide and 2 deep from top to bottom. A lot of different options, interchangeable, customizable displays, and it's great. I almost wish I had 4 more. No, I do wish I had 4 more of these things, although I wouldn't have been able to afford them at the time. If I could find a place still selling them, they're sold out at Big Bad Toy Store. I'd probably like to grab 4 more, which is ridiculous, but that we can have them 2 high and 4 wide and have a fucking awesome display. Now, there are a couple of very minor issues, such as, first of all, it's a little bit sort of flimsy feeling, but that's because there's so much weight and it has, kind of minimum support. It's not a problem. That's just sort of up to you to be, be careful with it. So the biggest sort of issue is there is a noticeable gap between the bottom and the top. It's like it doesn't go down quite far enough. And it's not super noticeable, but noticeable at the same time. And I mean, it's all the way down there. It just doesn't go any further down. Just the way it is. Still looks phenomenal. Now I also thought about putting them in sort of a square shape like this, like it's a building. And it looks kind of cool, but of course the sidewalk would need an extra corner piece and something to sort of secure it together. I do actually think they're making some sort of corner pieces. We'll see when they come out. But there's just so many different options for this thing. Really, really fun. Doesn't really work this way because of this gap right here, but beyond that it's pretty cool. Imagine if you had these 4, maybe 4 more for the top. You can kind of have an actual building going on. It'd be cool if they made like a rooftop piece that would attach to this. Very, very cool. So, in addition to that, this window piece pops out. And you don't have an alternate window piece to put inside of there, but you could have, I don't know, some sort of background behind there, a figure reaching out with a gun or grabbing somebody, pulling them in. You can do something like this, provide a little background, like the inside of a building. Somebody's reaching out, grabbing somebody, pulling them in. Perfect for Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. Perfect for NECA 7-inch scale figures. And there's one last action feature. There's a removable brick. In fact, there's a bunch of them. You can see I took one out. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Even a couple of these come out. They're not easy to come out. That's why I did off screen. You gotta wiggle it out, and it can take a little bit of time. The brick is very small. It's got a peg in the back. And I imagine the plan is for different parts you can add for the future. So, very intelligent. High School Creations thought of future things to enhance this accessory, and I think they have a Kickstarter right now for little parts you can add. I don't know, like an air conditioning vent or a little street sign or whatever you want to put in there. Whatever sort of makes sense to you. It's a good idea. The bricks are a little bit noticeable, but it's not hideous. Here are these Wall XD dioramas next to the NECA Street Scene diorama, which is a much more impressive diorama. It has different levels, different depth, 3 levels, and even has a background to make it almost have a 4th level, make it even taller. They're both awesome, awesome dioramas. Now this NECA one is intended for 7-inch scale figures, and it is comfortable for 8-inch scale or possibly even larger. And you can see how much taller the Wall XDs are. So that'll work with a much wider variety of action figures. Very cool. You don't have to worry about that being too short at all. And then here the Wall XDs too high. Now it's significantly taller than the NECA diorama if you don't have the background piece attached. Really, really cool. Both these sets are just amazing. I cannot speak highly enough for the NECA Street Scene diorama, nor these Wall XDs. If you want something like this, it is excellent. Putting these two together like this even gave me this pretty cool little corner spot. There are many buildings and streetways that have stuff like this. Nope, and there you go. Let's add those other sidewalk pieces to make it like a city street. Now let's put some guys into this thing. I'm thinking just a regular street scene diorama, everyday life. Here's a look at all 4 of those Wall XDs lined up. Everyday city life. A bunch of civilians just walking around, interacting, talking, buying hot dogs, hanging out with their family. Like I said, everyday city life. And as you can see, I predominantly put 7-inch scale figures into this diorama. We have Mattel, McFarlane, Diamond Select, and NECA figures. They all fit just fine. Even though it's labeled as 1/12 scale, it would work. Hell, you could almost put a Hot Toys in front of this thing. It would stick up a little too far. But all my point is, this diorama is very versatile. It's not just for 6-inch scale. It would work for 7-inch, 8-inch, 9-inch, 10-inch, no problem. And here's some different various action figures in front of the Wall XD diorama from some of the taller, larger things that I collect, like Diamond Select toys and McFarlane toys, to some of the smaller stuff I collect, like Hasbro Marvel Legends and SH Figuarts. And it works for all these guys and everything in between, and even things considerably larger. A very versatile, tall, customizable, interchangeable diorama. So overall, this is an absolutely awesome diorama and street scene. Now, regular civilians and city dioramas are my specialty. I love world building. I have a whole Gotham City in my action figure room. And when I saw these a couple of years ago, I thought these would be perfect for me in my world. But I don't know, sometimes the idea of a Kickstarter just turns you off. I didn't really want to back it and maybe get it, maybe not get it, blah, blah, blah. And then people started getting it, and it was awesome. And I really appreciate this opportunity, or second, or maybe third chance to get them. They are completely sold out at Big Bad Toy Store right now. And tell you the truth, I kind of want to get 4 more so I can have them 4 wide and 2 high. And I was chatting with the High School Creations guy, and he said there will be more at Big Bad Toy Store, probably midsummer. Probably pre-orders will be up considerably before that, so just check it every couple days. They're not cheap, so they're not going to sell out immediately, but I guarantee they will sell out. A lot of people want these things, and I see why. They're very nice. A great sort of all-purpose background for superheroes, civilians, horror figures, anything you want. Almost every character could be appropriate in front of a brick wall. That is the charm of this thing. It's just a great background, so you don't have, I don't know, your kitchen table or cabinets or just the wall as your background. This thing feels very sturdy. I feel like I could drop it. I could be rough with it. Not super rough, and it's not going to break. That is a huge feature because I've had plenty of weak dioramas or plenty of dioramas that were too small. This doesn't suffer from any of those things. It's well painted. Only sort of negative thing, and this is nothing against the diorama, is if you put all 4 in a sort of row like this, they're too similar, too consistent. It's just like a cookie cutter background, but that's fine. It's going to be awesome in my action figure world. If I were to rate this thing, it gets a solid 8.5 out of 10. I really like it. I like the customization. I like the fact that there's going to be future parts to enhance this. Very, very well done. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say to the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure and action figure diorama reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. You might check out my action figure diorama playlist. There's a ton of stuff in there. So once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.